All right. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. We will be reviewing how to proof and complete and then submit pages in your Memory Book Online program. This webinar is going to be approximately about 30 minutes, could give or take about 5 or so. You'll be able to review the topics that we're covering today on page 203 in your design and creation section of that big spiral yearbook guide that you got there. So page 203 in that guide, we'll kind of go over just how to review pages and that. If you want further, um, just kind of more explanation on what I kind of show today. So the first thing that we are going to be doing, it might seem like I'm kind of jumping around a few different places, but I'm going to mainly stick between here on a page and show you how to also submit pages on the page ladder. So as we're kind of reviewing and things to review, um, one kind of going back over some of the basics here is when we're looking at our pages, we're seeing, we've got a couple lines on here. So we've got the blue margin line. This is your inside page margins. This is ideally where you'll want to keep a lot of your core content within. The only thing then you'll want extending out that's kind of past or to the this red line, which is our estimated trim line. Really the only thing you kind of want out in this area is like a background or a solid background that's going all the way out here. So another thing, um, when we're getting ready to submit pages, um, first thing we're coming through is you're probably looking for things to review, or maybe you need to run proofs on pages. um, in case you have teacher helpers or teachers, or you always need another set of eyes to kind of help you if this just if you've been the main one working on it. um, you're so engrossed in at the time you may not see little things that misspellings or that. So the first thing I'm going to show you is when you're getting in here and you're ready to start reviewing your pages. There's a couple of different places where you can begin to do proofs or do page proofs. So while we're here on a page, and we'll just kind of take a page like this, for example, if you're ready to send that out to a teacher or just someone that's helping you review. So while we're here in the page, while we're in the page designer, you can generate proofs by up at the very top. And let me see if I can zoom in on my browser a little bit here. Up at the top here, you got this little preview page, looks like a little printer button. If you click on this, this will generate, yeah, I want to save. But what this will do is it will generate it popped up in another tab here, it'll generate a PDF proof that you can then, you can do one or two things with this proof. You can either save it down digitally, down to your downloads, attach it to an email and send it out to someone that is helping you. Or if you've got a connected printer, depending on your browser, which the buttons are, you could print that, just hit print and run that, to your local printer there. And how do I cancel that? So that's one way. So from the page designer itself, just come up and hit the little preview page. If you've got a 2-page spread open like this, it'll give you a 2-page proof. If you just got one side open, it'll just give you one side there. So here is, again, just a little printer button here in the page designer. The other place that we can do this, a couple different, is going to go under plan, and then we're going to go to the page ladder. And back on the page ladder is all our breakdown of our pages here. So on the page ladder is where you can also do individual page proofs. So above each page, you're going to see that same little view PDF button that is there. Kind of looks like a small little printer. So if you want to see what that page is, just click the little printer. Same thing. You can either download it, send it digitally, or print it out. So here's the second spot to run a proof, is just above each page. Now, let's say that you wanted to do a proof of the whole book. we actually have the capability in our program to do that. So let's say that you're an advisor or someone with a PTO, and maybe kind of someone big asks like, "Hey, or this, can we get a full book proof?" So maybe a committee reviews it. Maybe it's an upper level administrator. Whichever the case, you need a full book proof. Then here on the page ladder, we're going to go up under the print menu that's up here, the print drop down, and you're going to click on print all. I'm going to skip that here because sometimes it can take a few minutes to generate. What this will do is when you click on print all, well, like I said, I'm not going to do it, but it may take a while. And so we're going to check our download progress just as, from the browser, if it's going to Google or Microsoft or that. So what the program is going to do, it's going to take that time. It's going to generate a full book proof, and then kind of like how you have the other proofs download, you'll get some kind of notification from your browser that it's ready. Now from there, that full book PDF proof is huge. So it's going to be a little much to tack on or attach to an email to send out to whoever needs it to review. In which case, so if you do a full book proof, what we kind of suggest there, if you have any kind of cloud service like Google Drive or Microsoft OneDrive or Dropbox, or even if you're familiar with WeTransfer, those are all good for sharing larger size files. So I just want to put that out there. So it's if you do the full book proof, then Google Drive, Dropbox, OneDrive, something like WeTransfer is going to be the best way to get that to the people that you need to review the book. So I just wanted to point that out there. There is each different 3 areas. So back in the page designer, there's a PDF button, and above each page here, there's a PDF button to do a single page. And then if you need to do the big and all be all proof, then we'll come down here to print and do print all. Okay, so that's what I have about proofing pages. So kind of the next things to go through are things when you're reviewing, what to look out for there. Definitely, and I'm going to get down to some class pages here. That's fine. Okay, so another thing when reviewing your pages, definitely on class pages and that, definitely look to, do you have any still misspellings? Do you have any duplicates or things like that? So if you do find that, maybe you have a duplicate image, I don't really have one in here, unless I just want to show how that goes through. Now, as far as when you're looking at duplicates, if you notice a duplicate, one of the first things that you'll do is actually come back over to the flow tab, and we're going to pretend like maybe we're going to take out a student here just to kind of show you that maybe they weren't supposed to be in this class, maybe that they were a duplicate. Either way, the same steps kind of apply on taking someone out that doesn't need to be there. So in this case, what do you do? Let's say let's take this guy right here. Let's say he wasn't supposed to be here. He was actually still part of this group. So what we're looking for is if we need to take him out, we find a duplicate, we find any image that doesn't belong, we're going to go back over to the flow tab. And we're going to, from the category drop down, we're going to find this class and we're going to reset them. Let's see, here's the third. There we go. So this is my 4th grade class here. So remember, I'm taking this student out right here because it's either, like I said, in this example, he's either a duplicate or he needs to be in a different class. So I'm going to reset the flow. So that would just take him back out. Now, to mark the images do not use, we're going to go back under create. We're going to go to image library. And we're going to go to where that portrait is here. All right, so we're going to take this student out right here. So I'm going to click on his photo, double click on it. And I'm going to go to details. And down under preferences, I'm going to tell this to don't use portrait. So that's, again, I'll show that. I'll go back over. So if you're needing to take out a duplicate or unneeded photo from a flow or something like that, or just take someone out, double click on the photo, make sure it's up in here in the image preview on the details tab. And then under preferences, just make sure you don't use portrait. Okay, so now that we have that image marked, I'm now going to go back to the page. I'm going to go back to create, new page designer. And I am going to flow this group back in here. All right. So I'm going to flow them back in. Now we see that that one kiddo is now removed. So just like that was a duplicate image, we now have that removed from our flow and our page. And we can go from there. Another thing when you're coming through here and reviewing a page, and I'm going to bring up the pre-flight panel. Now, the pre-flight panel, when you're here in the pages, is what you're going to use to check for any spelling, or basically it'll help find any unedited text boxes or photo boxes on your pages. To bring up the pre-flight panel, when you're in the page designer, there's a little 2-button toggle that's down in the bottom corner here. And we're going to click on the top button of that. And along the side here, that's going to bring, it's first going to bring up our comment pre-flight panel. So it's first going to pull up the comment side. The side that we're wanting for today is the little triangle side. So we're going to click over here. Now, the pre-flight panel is where you're going to do multiple things when you're finishing your pages. This is where you're going to come and run spell check. So if I click on run spell check, if there's not anything here, no spelling suggestions, it won't give you that. Let's see. But let me try to find another page here. And let me just make a couple obvious typos here. Let's save that. All right, so I'm going to run spell check while I'm here. All right. So one thing spell check is finding. So it goes ahead and gives me a kind of this here, final. So it does pick up on here. So it will pick up on obvious, spell check will pick up on obvious misspellings. One thing it's not going to pick up on is correctly spelled words used in the wrong manner, I guess. So it's not going to check grammar. So it's not as robust as like Microsoft's spell check. It's going to catch the very basic. Even if, though is an actual spelled word though, but it's not misspelled, but this isn't, it's not the right word. So it's not that it's misspelled, it's just the wrong word there is now, and it's not going to pick up on that too. So for this, I'm going to go ahead and change to get it to final. Now for that one, this would be something that you would hope would be caught by anyone reviewing it and be like, hey, was that supposed to be an E there? Or, on something like that. So definitely, even though you run spell check, just be sure, have another set of eyes, read through that material, make sure it still makes sense, because it will flag the obviously misspellings. But if it's anything where it's a misspelling, but it still spells a correct word, it's not gonna catch that. Another thing that we'll show here, looking through kind of what the pre-flight panel is going to show you all the different, is there something that is like that needs to be done still? So like this, it says if I click on this, it's going to show where on the page I need to make the change. So right here, when I clicked this, it showed me that I had an unedited box down here below. So anytime that you see an object here in your pre-flight panel, if you have come and check a page and you want to see if it has any issues, so if you come in here, you see an issue like this, if you click on that issue, it's going to highlight where that is on the spread. So let me just click this one, and then so it's probably grabbing one of these little boxes here. Yep, it'll highlight. So it grabbed that one. If I click this one, I think there's another box somewhere that's, oh, there it is. Okay, it's clicking right there. So definitely, if you see anything that's here, definitely click on it. It'll show you where text is, where text needs to go. Now, if I go here and edit one of these, maybe I need a number for that spot. I hit save. So my little caution triangle goes away there and it removes it from my list there. So definitely check out, the pre-flight panel here. Let me see if I can go to another example. This page has a whole bunch of empty photo boxes that are here. Hopefully your all's pages don't look as bad as my demo pages here. And hopefully when you get into view your stuff, you maybe have one or two, or hopefully nothing that's there. But I just wanted to show you that this is where all, if there is anything that is not, that is keeping a page from completing, this is where we're going to go. And I did want to come back to this page just to kind of show some things. So when you're doing your class pages, one thing that when our books come in and they go through like a quick soft proof process, they're checking big headlines. They're only going to put books on hold if a name is missing or a picture is missing, or if there's a student that doesn't add up. I think if there's duplicates in here, they might um, they might still be included. So definitely check out for that. I don't think they're stopping it for duplicates like we used to do in the past. Um, so when you're working on your class pages, one thing I wanted to point out is when you're reviewing and some things that when the book gets here, what we're looking for. So when we're looking at your class pages, a lot of times in a lot of your pages, we're looking at the contrast between the names of the students, and the background used. So usually you like to have, if you have dark backgrounds, you would, it'd be better to have lighter colored text, or vice versa. If you've got like lighter color backgrounds, darker colored text. So just kind of in this example right here on these two, let's just call them two different class pages here. So the class on the left, yellow background, their names are in black. These are easy to be, really easy to see. Now the group on the left has like a dark bluish gray background here. The names are still in black, but they are really hard to see in this case. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to reset this flow again. And so on this individual flow element right here, just kind of wanted to show like where the contrast looks better. So I'm going to change actually this type. I'm going to make sure I'm going to click on my color drop down, and I'm going to make sure my text fill is selected, and I'm going to change it to white. And now we see that the names are here on the page. But now we just see that these actually stick out a lot better than the black type, so we can read these easier. Um, so just wanted to point that out. Make sure when you're reviewing your pages, if you have, so I'm going to flow them back in. So just when you're reviewing, just make sure, going through, you're kind of asking yourself, can you read it? But also, who all is going to have eyes on this yearbook as you're going through? I mean, it's going to be, parents, grandparents, the students, but mainly the parents and grandparents are going to be looking at this. So that's another thing that we want to keep a contrast is who's going to be looking at this, and um, just kind of some ease on the eyes there with your type. All right. Now I want to get to a page and then that is near completion, and I want to show you kind of the steps that we can do there. Take that little guy out. I'm just trying to complete this page here quick. Okay. So we'll go through the steps here with our completed class page here. So from the two different ways that you can start submitting and completing and sending your pages in. So there's steps here using the pre-flight panel that are here in the page designer. And then after this, I'm going to take you into the page ladder and show you the steps where you can do those same steps in the page ladder there. So two different places you can submit things. So on this page 4, so what we'll do is again, so if you come onto the page, you don't have the pre-flight comment panel up. Remember, it's the two little button toggle down below. We're going to click the top button of this, go back to the triangle. So just the order of things. The first thing I am actually going to do is I'm going to mark, if there's no issues here for my page, then I'm going to mark the page as complete. And you will notice that this goes to, it's a green line here. So this is the status green here. That's for completed. Now, right now, once you hit it, once you mark a page complete, what it is it's in a locked state here that only the advisor login can unlock. But it's a way you can still review the page and then wait to submit it. Now, your submit option is not going to show up, at least on the pre-flight panel here, until you run spell check. Okay, so we ran spell check. There's no spelling suggestions. We could then have to do the PDF proof. That's the last thing before that'll light up for us. So I'm going to do PDF proof. And this is the program's way of saying, are you sure? It's asking, it's wanting you to do this proof just as a last kind of, are you sure this is what it is before it goes off to printing? So we'll check out our proof. So now that we got our proof or our spell check and our proof completed, those two obligations completed, now we have our submit button ready for us. I'm going to wait to submit it just a second here, because a lot of times what we like to have people do is kind of have all your pages up to a completed status. That way, while reviewing, if you do see something, it's really easy to hit return and open that page back up to whoever needs to fix it, whether it's yourself or um, someone helping on the book. If you do submit it, no, there's no issue there. It's just a longer time to get it returned back to you. So if you do accidentally submit it, it's not the end of the world. Just call into us. If it's still before your submit date, um, we can go mark it unsubmit. A lot of times why we say that it might take longer, that unsubmit process can be 10 minutes, could go all the way up to an hour. So that's why we kind of just wait to submit until you're really sure on that. And that way you could easily hit return, open the page back. So I could hit return, unlock the page, and get it back open for us. All right. So that is going through the steps here on the pre-flight panel. So just a quick rundown again. If you use the pre-flight panel, this is going to show you anything that needs to be addressed. You'll mark the page complete. You'll do spell check, proof, and then when you're ready, it'll give you that submit option. All right, so let's check out how to do this same stuff from the page ladder. So I'm going to go under plan. I'm going to go page ladder. And let's find that same page here. Here we go. So here's our page on our page ladder. So you can see on the page ladder, all your different pages have the different status colors that are underneath them here. So right now, I've got this in progress. And let's see, can I make this area? There we go. I can zoom in on the browser here, make it a little bigger here to show you. Where is that page? Okay. Where did that go? There they are. Okay. So on the page ladder, if you're going to complete and submit pages this way, the first thing you do is above each page, you'll just see a little purple button, and that will be your complete button. So if you click on this, you'll get a message, completed. You'll hit OK. Now you see that's where, as in the page designer, is that small little green strip here. We can see it a lot better that this page is now completed. And now from here, once you mark a page complete, once you've hit the complete button for a page, you'll have two more buttons appear. You'll have your submit button and your return button, much like you had there on the pre-flight panel. So from here, again, if you need to jump back onto the page for any reason, make any changes in that, you just hit return. They'll put your page back in progress. Complete it. I'm going to hit OK. Now, if everything was ready to send in, and you were ready, I'm done, I'm sure for this page, it's ready to go, then I'm just going to hit my submit button, and I'll go ahead and do it from the page slider here. So are you sure you want to submit pages 0 to 18? So I'm going to, well, no, it's not 0 to 18, so it's just 18. I hit submit, submitted. And now we see that this page is submitted and it is locked from any further editing at this point. So once you go through, after you've gotten all your pages to a completed status, you start reviewing. Then, once everything is good, any corrections done from there, then you're going to come through, and you could do this from either spot. Just mark your pages complete and then submit them. And then once all of your pages are outlined in black here, you are finished. You are good to kick your feet up and pat yourself on the back that you have submitted a yearbook for the school year. So that is kind of the basic steps on here. Really, definitely make sure use of that going through. Another thing I could show real quick that if you wanted to have like another proofing tool that's here in the program, if we go under create and then go, was it create? No, it's showcase. Go under showcase and go to virtual book. And what the virtual book is, it's just kind of a digital flip through book here that would give you a sense of what the book would look like going through. So this is another good review tool too. It just kind of, what I like this is, I mean, the images are still, it's a low resolution kind of preview here. It's mainly, its review is not for much picture quality, but it is for content and flow of things. So as you're flipping through, it's like, do I have a good flow? Are all my classes, are all my grades in order? Things like that. So this is just another another neat little thing in the program that we have that you can use to review your pages. Um, so on the lines of submitting pages or things that you'll do after submitting pages, one, please email your customer rep to let them know you submitted your pages. When we have put your book into production, you will receive a confirmation email. We'll follow the specifications of your book. So if you see a mistake, we ask that you let us know right away. Once the book is into production, there may be a charge to stop it, just depending how far along is. So definitely, if you submit the book, definitely give us a call first thing that morning, or within, if you submit sometime in the evening, definitely give us a call, that morning, or as soon as you can, and then that way we can kind of stop it and hopefully, you don't incur any charges or anything like that. Let's see. And then the last thing is you will receive an invoice about 10 days after submission. So just some things to kind of look at once you do have it submitted. Um, Now, as far as what we're covering today, um, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and kind of do like the little wrap up thing on the thing. But if there is any questions and answers, I'm glad to stick on for another 10 minutes or however to address any questions. Um, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of do the ending, and then I will stop the recording. And then if anyone has questions, we can just open things up and do a Q&A at that. So um, thank you everybody for joining me today. Hope our webinar has helped reduce the stress of submitting your yearbook pages. Definitely when going through, make sure to use the pre-flight panel, do the proof pages to help you get that. Any kind of corrections back to you, and that way you can get those knocked out. So if you have any questions or have a problem arise, please feel free, call us here in tech support or your customer rep for help. So we look forward to receiving your books and enjoying seeing all of your creative ideas. So again, thank you everybody, and hope you have a great rest of your day. And if you want to stick around or if you have any questions, I'll be gladly able to answer them. So